Welcome to Clean and Sober Stoner. Now, I'm going to do something really different today. For the most part, this website is about that, as my friend Finn McKenty once commented to me, this weird intersection of recovery and stoner doom, which intuitively doesn't make a lot of sense. But the thing is, for quite a few people, it has made a lot of sense. And I've met a lot of friends, especially with bands, other musicians, who, send me the text, "Hey, I'm in recovery. It's really cool what you're doing." And I appreciate that. But today I want to talk about something really different, but still kind of related. Um, I found out I got formally diagnosed about 3 weeks ago with diabetes. And, you know, I know that a lot of the guys in the scene are built like I am. I mean, you go to the show, it's crazy. The only shirts they sell, or if you're lucky, you get an extra large. But a lot of us out there listening to the bands are like triple XL and quadruple XL. And up until 2 months ago, I was a triple XL. I have lost weight. But anyway, um, I got diabetes, and there's a saying in Alcoholics Anonymous that I first heard back in the 90s when I was in treatment, which is total bullshit, right? That alcoholism is the only disease that tells you that you don't have it. It's not true. Recovery folks, we tend to think we're special and we're in this bubble, and no. Diabetes, that one of the nicknames for diabetes is the silent killer. And what I'm kind of struggling with right now is I'm a freaking counselor. I have, you know, hundreds of guys that I've met who are going through what they thought was anxiety, withdrawal symptoms, you know, all this stuff. I'd be like, "Yeah, when's the last time you had your blood work done?" And in a lot of cases, they had untreated high blood sugar or outright diabetes, and they get on the right medication, and within a couple weeks, those symptoms are gone. This is especially true in methadone clinics, where I swear to God, when somebody is first in methadone treatment, if they feel anything, if they have any discomfort or any pain, it's caused by the methadone. So recovery, which I do support, it's still full of crap a lot of the time. And we don't have a monopoly on knowledge in any way, shape, manner, or form. So what's embarrassing for me is I've had the signs of diabetes for about I'd say 5 months. I'd say starting in August, I wasn't feeling all that great. I had mood swings, nothing huge, but you know, kind of like this instead of this. Definitely not this. That came later. Um, Irritability, frequent urination, just all these things. But, I had just been to the doctor, and my A1C was like a 6.5, so a little high, and there was concern. And I knew that I was pre-diabetic, but so it wasn't detected. And then, roughly about a month after my last exam, I started to feel these symptoms, and I didn't understand what they were. I didn't relate to it. And then I remember on October 22nd, because that's the birthday of the oldest here, we got these little cupcakes. And I had a salted caramel cupcake. And this is the kind of cupcake that when I go to bed, I dream about this kind of cupcake. And it had like this much salted caramel frosting and this much cake. And it was great. So I ate, I relished it. I knew what I was eating, and I loved every single bite. It was my mouth's watering now. About 3 hours after that cupcake, I didn't feel so hot. And then I think it was about 3 days after that, I really didn't feel hot. I was getting up to go to the bathroom 4 to 5 times a night, and I had cotton mouth, like I had smoked a quarter ounce of Red Bud or Acapulco Gold from way back in the late 70s, and I was constantly drinking. The other sign was I don't drink soda. I don't drink Coke, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and all that. And I was drinking cherry Coke, like with every meal, which I drink like 2 sodas a year. So I drank about 5 years worth of soda. So my cravings and what I was doing started to really change. And then one night, it's like I'm sitting, before we're going to bed, and I let Newbie Doomer know, hey, I'm feeling like really bad. And we have a glucose monitor. So I went and took my blood sugar, and it was 505, 505. Um, so that scared the everything out of me, and immediately I haven't had sugar since then. The closest I can come to it is when I finally knew that I had to quit drinking because my body was rejecting, the poison that was the alcohol. And now here I have my body is rejecting the poison that is the sugar. And my eating habits were, yeah, I was eating oatmeal. Because oatmeal's heart healthy. You see it on the quicker thing, good for your heart, right? But then when you look at the ingredients, it has as much added sugar as a Reese's peanut butter cup, which used to be like my favorite. So I immediately stopped, and I had an appointment booked with the VA, which is where I get my treatment, for 2 weeks later. Dumb move number 2054 was I did not contact my primary care provider. I did not go to the urgent care. It's this Midwest boomer thing of, I'll take care of it. Plus, I'm 61 years old and I'm on no medication. I'm so proud of that. I take all sorts of supplements, and herbs and all that. Not herb, but actual herbs and spices, cinnamon, turmeric. And so in my mind, I eat all this healthy stuff. So I decided to do it on my own. And I really wish I hadn't done that. I think the next day I got my blood sugar down to 400 just by avoiding carbs. And then I basically went on extreme Atkins to where no carbs, but I had a bunch of, a bunch of cheese, a bunch of meat, a bunch of low fat meat. Turkey season's right around there. And I did chicken. So I did it, I did it myself. And by the time I got the doctor, I had all sorts of symptoms, including, going out in public. I'd have panic attacks. We went to a show the first week in November. It was a Christmas show that happens here in Raleigh every year. And at one point, I had to sit down like I'm 85 years old because I was getting dizzy. I was disoriented. I was dizzy. And my memory went away. My memory just crashed and burned. So, yes, I finally got to the doctor, and I'll never forget. He's got the mask on, but I can still see his eyes. And I told him what my blood sugar was, and he just sat there and went, hmm. And he didn't panic, but I could tell. He's like, oh my effing God, what the hell, man? So it was a great discussion. I explained to him my diet. They scheduled the appointment with the nutritionist, and they got me metformin. My experience with metformin has been not that good for the first week or two. And by the time I was taking the metformin, my memory was shot. I remember, I use that word ironically, I got some no fat Greek yogurt, with like 3 grams of carbs, if that. And I got some of that, and I put some almond butter in it and a little bit of cinnamon, and, healthy. It is. But see, healthy behaviors, and you use them to hide the unhealthy behaviors, not so good. But the point of this is, I got the yogurt, and I ate it, and 5 minutes later I went to put it away and I couldn't find it. And we looked everywhere. You know, it's like, where would an old man with Alzheimer's put yogurt? So we looked in drawers and cabinets, and we looked in the pantry, and we, you know, wherever I would go to potentially, we could not find this yogurt for 2 weeks. Turns out that cottage cheese lids are the exact same size as the yogurt lid. So what happened is I put the yogurt back, but I had the wrong lid on it. When I was looking for the yogurt, I'm looking for the blue yogurt. Anyway, my memory was shot. I can't remember where I put my keys, can't remember what I'd done, and it was impossible for me to do my usual editing, writing, and production with Clean and Sober Stoner. And another reason I'm doing this is to apologize and explain to the bands, because, you know, I did interviews like a month ago, and, you know, we were expecting the interview to be released, and they're looking at their watch, and everybody's been nice. They're like, "Hey, just checking in. When were you planning on posting?" And I, you know, eventually I've just had to come clean with everybody that I've been working with, all of the bands, anybody who had any expectation of me following through with what we like to do here at Clean and Sober and Monster Riff, which is to support the band, support the label, support the PR. And I couldn't. I'm not going to blame Big Food. I'm not going to blame anybody whatsoever. I made choices on my diet. Theoretically, I know what I'm doing, but I ignored all the signs. And what makes it really frustrating is I was presenting extreme symptoms of diabetes, but when you go to the Cleveland Clinic and the Mayo Clinic, they're showing the basic stuff. And I'm like, that describes my Tuesday. This is really serious stuff. And I'm very lucky, and I know how fortunate I am that I'm part of the world's greatest healthcare system, which is the VA. I know that I'm cared for at home. I've been able to adjust my diet, but diabetes is every bit as serious as alcoholism and opioid addiction and cannabis abuse. And it just affects so many of us. So, guys and gals, it's the holidays. It's the holiday season. And by the way, I feel like an ex-smoker where, you know, I can smell all the smoke. I haven't smoked since like 2005, but I'm like an ex-smoker. It's unbelievable. Everywhere that you go, it's carbs, 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 carbs. And occasionally they put high polyunsaturated fats and processed food and processed meat with the carbs. So being carb aware now, I'm like 95% of the grocery store I can't use. Thankfully, we have this thing called the internet and Google, and I have found all sorts of diabetic friendly, whole grain, no sugar food. So I'm doing fine. I'm going to be fine. But some of you out there have a body shape like me, which is not like a pear. I'm more like an apple. And then belly fat. Take care of yourself. Limit, please, because I want to work with you on the next album and I want to see you at the next show. Just be aware that all of these carbs, all of the sugar, all this celebration, especially if you combine it with alcohol and everything else, it's just a jackhammer on our system that processes and uses, you know, carbohydrates in the bloodstream. And eventually your pancreas is just going to go, fuck this, man, I'm out. And, you know, no more insulin. And whatever insulin you're producing, now you're resistant to. So please take care of yourselves. If you're feeling any disorientation, any dizziness, any unexpected mood swings, if you're having to get up and go to the bathroom 3 or more times per night, get with your doctor. You don't have to wait until your next scheduled physical to go see your doctor. Take care of yourselves. Please let me know in the comments below Have you experienced anything similar to this? Because I gotta tell you, that is the worst physical recovery I've gone through since I went through extreme alcohol withdrawal in August of 1992. I had the same shakes, the same difficulty walking. It was so eerily similar that it was scary, especially the mental impairment, short-term memory, and long-term. Like the period from October 22nd until about a week ago is pretty hazy for me. So I hope if I connected with any of you, please let me know. And if you're reacting to this really strongly, fuck that. That's the first sign that it might be hitting a nerve. I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I just want to carry a message that, yeah, the decisions we make and what we put in our body has consequences. Mine was diabetes. And by the way, my blood sugar now, when I wake up in the morning, it's 120. When after I eat something, it's generally around 170, 180. I am eating a little bit of carbs. Like my diet is expanding, but it's under control and it's within the safe zone for people with diabetes. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Drugs and alcohol aren't the only pernicious things and habits that we can engage in that can cause long-term health consequences. And thank you for tuning in. And I promise the next video, the next upload will be something heavy and sludgy, and it will be fantastic. So